Some characters are born into legend, while others steal the scene from the shadows. This is Pedro Press, where we shine a spotlight on roles that changed pop culture forever. Tonight, unraveling secrets, betrayals, and destinies woven through the Seven Kingdoms as we dissect one unforgettable part in Game of Thrones, because every player leaves their mark on the Iron Throne, for better or for bloodier. In the firelit halls of Westeros, a single name emerged in Season 4 that would incite whispers: Oberyn Martell, the Red Viper of Dorne. But behind this viper's striking on-screen charisma, an actor was about to redefine his own destiny: Pedro Pascal. Before Game of Thrones, Pedro Pascal was a journeyman actor, someone Hollywood knew by face but not by name. He had appeared in dozens of roles, yet it was a fateful audition tape sent from New York that would change everything. Few know that Pascal recorded his Oberyn audition on an iPhone, with help from his friend Sarah Paulson holding the device. In a world of slick studio auditions, this low-tech take bristled with raw energy, and it made its way directly into the hands of showrunners David Benioff and D.B. Weiss. There's a glint in Pedro's eye as he recalls reading George R.R. Martin's books. He'd been a fan long before the casting call ever came. The allure of Dorne's mysterious culture, their poetry, their deadly politics, drew him in like a moth to flame. Oberyn's entrance at King's Landing is one of Game of Thrones' most electric moments, and it all hinged on Pedro's presence. What many missed is that he deliberately studied flamenco dancers to perfect Oberyn's languid walk, a subtle embodiment of Dornish sensuality and danger. Pascal insisted on doing most of his own stunts for the iconic trial by combat against the Mountain. Behind-the-scenes footage shows him training relentlessly with expert swordsmen from Spain. Weeks were spent mastering the spear, forging Oberyn's fighting style into something both lethal and graceful. An artist at heart, Pedro drew sketches of Oberyn's costumes between takes, helping the costume department refine details like the intricate sun and spear motifs on his tunics. Unbeknownst to most fans, these flourishes bear Pedro's personal touch. The night before filming Oberyn's fatal duel, Pedro barely slept, not out of fear but anticipation. He later confessed to friends that saying goodbye to this character felt like parting from an old friend he'd only just begun to know. Hidden from the public eye, Pedro privately reached out to fans who identified deeply with Oberyn's pansexuality and ethnic ambiguity. He once replied anonymously on Tumblr threads, encouraging those who saw themselves in Dorne's prince to be proud of their heritage. The power of Oberyn Martell lay not only in words or battle, it was in the way he listened. A directorial choice by Pascal himself. In crowd scenes, if you look closely, you'll notice him observing as much as performing, gathering secrets like coins. On set, Pedro became legendary for breaking tensions with impeccable impersonations, including a rendition of Tywin Lannister complaining about unruly dragons, much to Charles Dance's delight. For all its violence and tragedy, Pascal viewed Oberyn's final stand as an act of defiance against injustice. Years after leaving Westeros behind, he still speaks passionately about how losing doesn't always mean defeat. Sometimes it means daring to fight at all. When award season rolled around, Pedro was stunned to find his name trending worldwide, not for winning statues, but for inspiring viral artwork and fan campaigns demanding his return as Oberyn's twin brother, a plot twist he openly adored. A single red rose arrived at Pedro's home weeks after The Mountain and the Viper aired, unsigned except for a note for the bravest man in Westeros. To this day, he keeps it pressed in his favorite copy of A Feast for Crows. Long after Game of Thrones faded from TV screens, Pedro Pascal remains haunted, in a good way, by Oberyn Martell. Fans who meet him at conventions often ask not for autographs but for advice on how to live boldly and love fiercely. If you enjoyed these fun Pedro Pascal facts, hit like and subscribe for more Pedro Press discoveries.